Racing Hotspot Weekend Roundup. Today is August 4th, finally in August. Where the heck has the summer gone? Is really the question.
Gone by real fast, that's for sure.
August 4th, 2013. Let's get started right away here. Show lineup. Just an FYI, he is having cold allergy issues, so if he's not sick, hopefully not, because
I'm not sick.
I don't want to go on vacation and get sick. Okay, so here's our show lineup. Need to change the screen over there. Motorsports in 60, Global Rally Cross, IZOD IndyCar Series, Racing Hotspot Blog Report, NASCAR. After NASCAR we take a break, that's why if you see the line underneath NASCAR, then that's why. Virtual Lap, Racing Hotspot Points Championship, and then Final Lap.
Busy weekend.
Yeah, very busy. Next weekend is almost only NASCAR and Rallycross. A little easier for us to report on since we're going to be in different places.
Yeah.
Here's your Motorsports in 60. We will look over at the screen. Our time starts now. Here we look over at the screen. NASCAR Camping World Truck Series at Pocono. Neither him or I caught it, but here is your top 5. Finishing 5th, Ross Chastain. Joey Coulter finished 4th. German.
I would guess Jermaine. I'm not 100% sure on that one.
Jermaine, okay. Jermaine, I've always hear it. Quiroga, yes. Michael, no. Miguel Paludo finished 2nd, and Ryan Blaney won the race. Nationwide Series, 8 seconds. Nationwide Series at Iowa, Kyle Larson finished 5th, Austin Dillon 4th, Brian Vickers 3rd, Sam Hornish Jr. 2nd, and Brad Keselowski won the race. I believe that's like the first time in the existence of doing Motorsports in 60 I did not get within the 60 seconds.
The BB was the timer?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it might have been the camera. So it got me a little worried.
No, I spent all day charging that today. So now to Global Rallycross. Here's your top 5. Today, actually, Global Rallycross, they did a double header this weekend. I don't know if you caught yesterday's event, but they used a, can't think of what it's called, but it's basically 2 cars that go out and do a mirror of, they had to, and I'll pull out my 1/64th scale cars here.
Are you seeing the table?
So, talking to our cameraman. They basically had to go down here, go around a certain way and do a figure 8 and then through a box and do different events. But on the other side it mirrored that one track. And they did that yesterday, and I think you won $1,000 if you won it. Tanner Faust won it, actually.
Cool, very cool.
So they did that event yesterday, and I'm sorry we did not cover it because I didn't know it was happening until yesterday. But
unfortunately, as you know, I do auctions for a living, and it's auction season in New Hampshire.
But today was the regular Global Rallycross event, the dirt, asphalt, jump type of rallycross. Here's your top 5. Finishing 5th after a doubleheader weekend, Travis Pastrana also finished 27th in the nationwide race yesterday, or last night. Rise Millen, what'd you say?
Yeah, I'd say pretty good on that one.
Okay, Rise Millen, I'm sorry if I got that wrong, finished 4th. Sirach Isaacson.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I don't know where you get an ack out of that. It looks like there's a Sver Isaacson.
Okay, Mr. Isaacson,
not 100% sure.
I apologize on your name there, Mr. Isaacson. Tanner Faust finished 2nd, and Tuomas Heikkinen won the race. 4th race in a row.
Nice.
Now, he won the race before New Hampshire, won New Hampshire, Bristol, and now this. Now to IndyCar. Keep forgetting I have the keyboard right here. Charlie Kimball, one of the only drivers, who uses the pin
What are you talking about, the diabetic thing?
Yes,
EpiPen.
EpiPen, one of the only drivers in motorsports who does that. He won the race today in IndyCar. Very good for him. First driver, I believe, to have the EpiPen to win. And that's a very tough thing to do while you're in a 200-degree car.
Yeah, 230 miles an hour.
So here's your top 5. Finishing 5th, the New Hampshire winner. I'm always going to say that when I bring up his name. Ryan Hunter-Ray. Will Power finished 4th. Dario Franchitti finished 3rd. Simon Pageau finished 2nd. And Charlie Kimball won the race.
I think we may have to work a little bit on the names and pronunciations.
Yeah, I gotta...
That definitely goes for both of us, so I'm not calling you on that one.
Alright, so if we look over at the screen here for RH Blog Report now. Okay, we're all changing our electronics to this right position. Racing Hotspot blog. This Racing Hotspot blog report. GoBowling.com 400. I don't know if you noticed that.
Go Bowling 400, huh?
GoBowling.com 400. A Pocono.
Is that for a video type game, or is that for just so local, gives you local bowling alleys and whatnot?
Basically, that.
Cool. It's one thing in New England I can never understand.
Okay, so here's your log report. Sorry about that little technical difficulty. You guys probably didn't catch it. Well, at the beginning of the week, I said that Pocono didn't deserve a second race. Shame on me. After this race, a lot of people would probably disagree with me. I even disagreed with myself.
I'm thinking maybe it should just be the second race, but I think I believe, I'm not 100% sure on this one, that it was Alan Beswick that pointed out during the race that it seems to be a snoozer for the first race, but the second race is exciting, and this race was definitely exciting. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about that. It was they didn't make it to turn 1.
No.
Not that I like wrecks or anything, but there was a lot of passing for the lead. It seemed like anybody who got out front and got the clean air were able to just run away with it.
Yeah.
Every single one of them. But there was always something that came up that brought them all back together, and how Jeff lost it. Because I really thought Jeff Gordon had that race, but I did not think they were going to get past it without a caution. And of course, they get the caution right before a green-white check-in, so once you've lost the lead, you're going to get it back.
So the next race is Watkins Glen, one of my probably favorite tracks on the circuit, even though I have not gone to it yet. See you then. One quick thing that I enjoyed about that last wreck, and I don't like to say I enjoy wrecks. Jeff Burton got out of his car. I don't know if you saw this. They had a slow motion. Jeff Burton went like this, and the roof dipped looked like 4 inches in and came back, and it was like, what the heck is that?
Well, the truth is NASCAR itself doesn't like that. They get a little upset. Fortunately, he was dealing with a car that wasn't going to get the post-race inspection because it obviously wasn't going to finish within, the top 5, I believe they take.
Mm-hmm.
So they wouldn't be concerned, but I'm willing to bet they probably did say something to him. Because if that car got back out in the field and somehow managed a 5th, well, that throws NASCAR off completely. That's why, I don't know if you remember the days when they used to actually celebrate on top of the car.
Oh, yes.
Well, those days are gone because by doing so, you kind of shove it down and then it doesn't measure right in the final inspection. Hence why they now stand on the windowsill instead of on the roof. But in the past, there were guys that used to literally do a jig on the roof.
It wasn't, didn't Waltrip want to do that? Climb up on the roof and then
yes,
jump
actually,
on
he actually did a jig.
Yeah.
Like a real jig.
Then he did, because he won the Daytona 500, that's
Yep.
right. So now to NASCAR. I gotta get out of the RH Blog Report here. To NASCAR. Casey Kane wins. Second time this season. The other time was at Bristol. So congratulations to basically securing his spot in the chase. Here's your top 5. We're gonna take a commercial break after this. Here's your top 5. Finishing fifth, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Actually, I have my notes right here, so why am I looking at the screen? Ryan Newman won at Indianapolis. Now follows it up.
Fourth, which is very nice.
You can all get a free bloomin' onion at your, is it?
Outback.
Outback, yes.
And in addition, somebody also gets a mortgage payment.
Yeah, isn't it like 5 people win a five?
I don't know. I know I'm in it, and I haven't gotten a mortgage payment yet. Would I like one? Yes.
Kurt Busch finished third, Jeff Gordon finished second, and Casey Kane, of course, won the race. Very good race.
I say congratulations to all top 5 because I think they all had great races. Kurt Busch, I was really thinking might be actually the winner for that race about halfway through because he was really always right there.
Yeah.
What amazed me, and all of the unforgiving issues that Jimmy Johnson had today, how did he finish ahead of Mark Martin? How does that team do that? I mean, it really makes me wonder because Mark had a good day.
Yes.
And he was in the top 5 for a little bit. He was bouncing back and forth between 15 and 5, but yet somehow, some way, Jimmy Johnson came in 13th. I don't know. It threw me completely. But I mean, great race for the top 5. I mean, Dale Earnhardt Jr. was right there. Jeff Gordon was right there.
3 out of the 4.
Casey Kane had a dominating car, and I almost thought he was going to lose the race to Gordon, which either way it wouldn't have mattered much to me. I just read a recent article about Jeff Gordon. I have quite a bit more respect for him after what I've read. And as I always state, I like all drivers. I even like Jimmy Johnson. It's just he wins too damn much. What?
You like Jimmy Johnson?
Well, I like all drivers.
Yeah.
I would never knock any one of them because you know what? They're a better driver than I am, and I'm a great driver.
Well, depends. So yes, that was the Go Bowling 400, like my artwork that was done by yours truly. Spent 3 hours this morning trying to do that. It wasn't really that hard. After I did that, that's what.
Did you see? Speaking, you mentioned GoPro. Did you see the GoPro commercial during the rallycross?
When they jumped out of the airplane? Or?
They did all sorts of things.
Yeah, I saw
It's
that.
just amazing what those cameras do. It really is, and the fact that they
We're going to take a quick break.
any abuse.
When we return, we'll have your virtual lap. We'll be right on that screen. And then we'll have your picks. And yeah, we will be Hello, and I'm welcome live here to a special report. I'm alongside Jerry Gappins here in his office. How you doing, Jerry?
I'm doing well, and I feel good to be part of a special report. That sounds like news breaking.
Well, it kind of is. We've been working on getting an interview with you, and here it is. So we have a couple questions for you here. One of them is, there's been a lot of talk about lighting up New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Can you tell us any info on that?
Certainly. What happened back when Bob Bear came in and built the track, there were 5 or 6 residents in a nearby adjoining town, Canterbury, and they didn't like the idea of a speedway here, and they wanted to not have anything to do with it, and so they filed lawsuits, and Bob ended up working through a process that included legal action that they ended up coming to a settlement, and part of that settlement was no night racing, and that was done back in 1989-90 when night racing wasn't as prevalent on the schedule as it obviously is today, and that was something Bob wasn't worried about. But there are things in there like no mud bog racing, no standalone concerts, no drag racing. We could never have a drag strip here. So there are a lot of covenants that to how big a beer we can serve. So it's very restrictive this day and age. So you got to go back through and try to reverse some of that process. And I'm trying to do it delicately where it's in their deed, and so you got to change it around. And I don't want to get into lawsuits with the town or anybody else. And so we're trying to work through it with a more diplomatic fashion, and that just takes a little more time, but it's something that's on the top of my radar, especially what we really are eyeing is that July race because of the heat. I think the novelty of having a night race would be a tremendous boom to the track and really a great thing for our fans. So we're working on it. I know you've heard that for the last 2 years, but as I said, when it's locked into a deed like that, you got to get 4 or 5 parties to agree to release some of that, and then the town to go ahead and say, all right, we can do that. But it's worth doing, and we're certainly going to push it up a little bit.
All right, so pretty much now for a couple of years you would...
I did send a letter to NASCAR to see if it was possible for next year, because what you also have to take into consideration, one, is NASCAR open to it, because at the end of the day, it's their dates that they decide. And then with the important relationships we have with our TV networks, does it make sense for the TV network that's broadcasting that race to do it Saturday night, or would they rather do it on a Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon? So I sent that 2 weeks ago to get a response, because I need them to say yes first and then put everything in motion. So I did go ahead and ask for next year. I'm an optimistic guy, so I want to be ready if that's an option. If not, then 2015.
All right, cool. I've been one that's been sitting there going, come on, night racing, but yeah. All right, cool. Another question is repaving New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Have you anything on that?
Well, we're getting to the time where we've talked about it internally. It's an expensive project to do, and it's kind of on the radar, but it's kind of like replacing your washer or dryer. Or if it's still working, you don't want to not make a change, but at the same time, you don't want to have an event where a track breaks up, where it's a showstopper, as we call it in the industry, where you're sitting there, and we've seen that at Daytona and some other places where there's been a big pothole, and it takes time to do that. And here you are on live national TV, you got a live audience in the crowd, and there's nothing more frustrating than that. But we own and operate 8 tracks across the country. We've got a great engineering team, and they keep an eye on it. We seal it. We take very good care of it, but it is to the point of having to repave. And then you're always scared when you hear repaving, because it seems like at most facilities that first race or two after repaving, it's not as competitive racing. And I think we've had some pretty good racing here in the last couple of years of side-by-side. So we need to do it, but we're going to do it smart.
All right. That sounds good. I've always been interested in repaving. Obviously, I don't have any say in what goes on here, but well, I kind of do, but not really, not much. Another one, what future plans do you have for NHMS?
Well, the big thing is we talked about are the lights. I'd love to see the place be lit up for a July race and do the Cup race on a Saturday night and the Nationwide on a Friday night, and maybe have the Modifieds be an opening act on one of those 2 nights in it, and give us an August Bristol type of schedule and format here, and that's the big part of it. And then the other priority with Bruton, our chairman, is to always look at fan amenities and improvements there, and so we're working really close with with the state of New Hampshire on widening 106 from here down to 393. That'd be a great benefit for the fans and getting in and out of our facility. It's on the 10-year plan, just has to be funded, and we're in that process right now of trying to find the dollars to get that started.
All right, cool. And one last thing, as our camera person sitting there waving his hands back and forth, what is your favorite thing about being the general manager of New Hampshire Motor Speedway?
Absolutely, most favorite is the interaction with the fans. I love during race week to go out in the campgrounds, talk to people, eat with them, have beverages with them, and get their feedback. And that's how you know what's going on. And some of it's good, some of it's bad, but you take the bad and you have thick skin about it and you try to correct it. This year we had a lot of rain, 3 weeks worth of rain. At the race week we ended up with 3 inches of rain on Thursday. We had some wet spots in some of the campgrounds. I looked at it, saw it. We've got piping already here on property. We're waiting on a couple other pieces, but we're gonna put in some more drainage in some of these areas where we saw problems, and that's how you fix it. And you know, but that comes back from feedback with the fans, and that's by not hiding in an office. It's getting out there and being as visible as much as you can. I mean, I got other responsibilities, but that's my funnest part about the job, and it's really gratifying for the whole team when they drop the green flag and that starting field goes down. You look up and you see all these people here having a great time.
All right, cool. So that will do it for us here for the Racing Hotspot special report. Thank you, Jerry Gappins, for taking time out of your busy schedule. And yeah,
I think you're doing well. I think you're the next best thing since Jim McKay. So you got a good future in front of you there.
all right, thank you, and have a nice day, everybody, and see you next time. Well, I just realized we unplugged our microphone when we were doing that technical setting. No, it's okay. It's okay. We're ending the show right now. We are having technical difficulties. The camera battery's dying, which I don't know why, because I charged it, and electronics.
Yeah, we do seem to have a lot of problems with them. But we'll get it figured out.
Well, not a
It's
professional.
a matter of time.
So yes, that means, since we're having these issues, and now our microphone's not on, but that one is on, so it sounds different to you guys, we're going to go...
So they can see the wire, is that what you're saying?
We are going to go away now. One quick announcement. If our cameraman would like to zoom in on me, this way to get the wire going. Okay, focus back in here.
Quick announcement.
On the way down in New York, and I still have to talk to our driver here, who is the cameraman, but on the way down to New York and to Florida, I'm going to be doing little video installments. Like Tuesday morning before we go, I'll say, okay, it's 7:30 a.m., we're getting ready to go. And then I'll get like a video going into Mass, and then into Connecticut, and then on the ferry, and then getting to New York, and then airport, and then on the plane, and then landing, and then Orlando, and then on to resort. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll put it all together as the trip to the road to Florida. If we were going to Daytona, I'd say the road to Daytona, but road to Florida.
Yeah.
So that's just an idea.
Vacation time.
Exactly. If it doesn't happen, sorry, still trying to get it finalized, but at the moment it is going to happen. So we're going to go away now. Not probably some of you people are probably happy, but we are going to leave you guys now. If our camera would like to zoom out, I don't care if the wire's in it. We're not professional.
Yep, just want to say good night.
Yeah. So until we see each other for Racing Hotspot Weekend Roundup next weekend from different places, have a good week, everybody.
Take care, everybody.
Goodbye.
Little girl, you like it loud. Come alive.